The star carrier Astra Dominion drifted silently above the fractured moon of Varellon 3, its armor scorched from a battle that should never have happened. Inside its command deck, James Halley, a decorated Earth veteran, stared at the incoming distress signal with a tightening jaw. The message kept looping, raw with panic. "Sorry, human. We have nowhere to go." The voice wasn't human. It was Varelli. For centuries, the Varelli Empire had considered humans primitive, undisciplined, too emotional to be taken seriously. But that was before the Dominion fleet arrived, before their own worlds fell to the arc shadow that devoured entire civilizations without warning. James exhaled slowly, forcing his heartbeat down. It wasn't fear. It was something heavier, the weight of responsibility he'd sworn never to carry again after the Earth-Titan wars. Behind him, navigation doors slid open as Rose Calder, a cyber linguist and tactical envoy, entered the deck. Her violet eyes reflected the holographic chaos. "Another distress call?" she asked quietly. "Sixth one today," James replied. All the same message. All from Varelli refugee pods that shouldn't even be on this side of the galaxy. Rose stepped closer, pulling data into her wrist screen. "James, they're being hunted." "Yes, and guess who's doing the hunting?" She closed her eyes. "The Arcburn." The word alone made the Dominion's deck lights flicker. The Arcburn were not invaders, they were erasers. Cold, mathematical, perfect in destruction. No broadcasts, no demands. Just elimination. Rose looked up at James. "If their fleet is here, that means Earth is next." James didn't respond. He simply stared at the spinning distress beacon, each pulse echoing through him like a heartbeat. The unexpected arrival. Suddenly the flagship trembled. A silver streak tore out of hyperspace, tumbling, sparking, burning. The Dominion sensors screamed in protest. "Refugee vessel incoming!" Rose shouted. "Hull integrity at 2%. The ship slammed into the Dominion's hangar field, skidding across the bay. Alarms blared. James didn't wait for a squad. He ran. By the time he reached the hangar, med units were already swarming. But the vessel's airlock was jammed, its frame twisted like a crushed can. He stepped forward, braced himself, and shoved his vambrace-reinforced arm between the metal plates. Rose rushed to him. "James, wait, this thing could blow." "It won't," he said, voice tight. "They called us?" "We answer." With a grunt, he forced the door open. Inside were 4 Varelli, trembling, starved, terrified. Their leader, a tall, silver-skinned envoy, grabbed James's arm with trembling fingers. "Human," he rasped. "Sorry, we have nowhere to go." James felt the words pierce him. Not because of the fear, because of the surrender. Humans didn't surrender. Not to nature. Not to war. Not to the universe. And certainly not to extinction. He crouched, meeting the envoy's wide, glowing eyes. "You're not dying in my hangar. Not today." The envoy shuddered. "The Arcburn follow. They will find you. Because of us." "Let them try," James muttered. "Humans don't run." Rose's discovery Rose scanned the survivors while James coordinated the med teams. Something about their energy signatures made her frown. "James, you need to see this." She projected a hologram before him. It showed a strange pattern glowing inside each Varelli's chest, something like a star compressed into a pulse. "They're carrying quantum anchors," Rose said. "The Arcburn aren't hunting them for territory. They're hunting them because these people are keys." James stiffened. "Keys to what?" Rose swallowed. "To destroying whole star systems. The Varelli never knew they were hosting Arcburn tracking nodes in their biology. Every refugee ship the Arcburn finds marks a new system for annihilation." The weight hit James like a punch. If even one of these survivors remained on the Dominion, Earth could be tagged next. The Varelli envoy saw the look in James's eyes and dropped to his knees. "We did not know. Human, we do not wish to end your world. End us if you must." James froze for a moment. The entire hangar seemed to hold its breath. The decision no one else would make. James had executed orders before. Ended threats. Carried burdens that would break lesser soldiers. But this exterminating an entire group of helpless refugees was not something he would ever do. He turned to Rose. There has to be another option, Rose hesitated. Then her eyes widened. There is. But it's insane. James smirked faintly. Perfect. Tell me, if we amplify the Dominion's shield harmonics through the hyper relay, Rose said, we can invert the Arcborn's anchor signal. Instead of marking Earth, she paused, breath uneven, we can mark them. James straightened. You want to tag the Arcborn fleet with their own extermination beacon. It will turn them against themselves, Rose whispered. They will erase their own coordinates. James turned toward the terrified Varelli. You hear that? You aren't a threat. You're the trap. The envoy stared in disbelief. You would do this? For us? For a species that once mocked you? James rested a firm hand on the alien's shoulder. Humans don't save friends, he said. We save everyone. The Standros sprinted to engineering. James ordered the Dominion to war stance. The shields flared, blue arcs dancing across the hull. A dark wave of Arcburn ships emerged from hyperspace, silent, perfect, endless. Rose's voice rang through the comms. James, harmonics are ready. Do it! The Dominion's shields exploded into a pulse of inverted quantum light. A shockwave rippled across the void, washing over the Arcburn fleet. For the first time in history, their perfect formation faltered, and then their ships turned on each other, the void lit with cold fire as the Arcborn erased themselves in a chain reaction of annihilation. One by one, their dark signatures blinked out. Silence followed. Deep, impossible silence. The aftermath later. In the observation deck, Rose stood beside James, watching the Varelli refugees sleep safely in medpods. You know, Rose said softly. Every other commander in the galaxy would have vented them into space. James shrugged. Every other commander isn't human. Rose smiled. HFY moment. HFY moment, James agreed. Behind them, the Varelli envoy stepped forward, bowing deeply. Human James, human Rose, he said quietly. We once believed your people reckless, emotional, chaotic. But today, his voice cracked. Today we learned humans do something no Arcburn can compute. James raised a brow. And what's that? The envoy smiled. You choose hope?